Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. You can attempt the quiz in this app and you can read detailed explanation. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Now, let's start. Tehri Lake, on whose bank an adventure sports institute has been opened, is in which state of India? So this is in the state of Uttarakhand. Present Chief Minister of Uttarakhand is Tirath Singh Rawat. Recently, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand and Union Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju inaugurated a water sports and adventure institute on the bank of this Tehri Lake. This lake is in Uttarakhand and this institute will be run by ITBP. What is ITBP? It is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. So ITBP is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. It is under MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. Actually, it is a part of CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Force. Now, recently Uttarakhand was also in news as Dust Lick exercise was conducted in Uttarakhand. It is a joint exercise between India and Uzbekistan. Apart from this, recently one more exercise was in news and it is Vajra Prahar. So, it is an exercise between India and USA and this was organized in the state of Himachal Pradesh. Next question is, Israel has signed its biggest ever defense procurement deal with which country? So this country is Greece. So recently Israel and Greece have signed the biggest ever defense procurement deal. This includes contract worth 1.6 billion US dollars. Apart from that, there will be a training center and it is Hellenic Air Force Training Center. It is going to be in Greece. Now, if we talk about geographical location of these two countries, this is Israel and this is Greece. This is Mediterranean Sea. This is Gibraltar Strait and this is Atlantic Ocean. This continent is Africa. These countries are Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya and Egypt. Recently, this area was in news because of Suez Canal. Now, recently, Libya was also in news because UNSC, that is United Nations Security Council, promoted a ceasefire in Libya. Actually, Libya is under political crisis after the removal of its dictator Gaddafi in 2011. Now, Greece was also in news because of Stanfos Tsitsipas. So, who is Stanfos Tsitsipas? So, he is from Greece and recently he won the Monte Carlo Open tournament and he is the youngest player ranked in the top 10 by ATP. What is ATP? It is Association of Tennis Professionals. Next question is, what is the name of condition in which the human body is deprived of adequate oxygen supply at tissue level? So it is the condition of hypoxia. There are two terms, in fact two prefix. One is hypo, one is hyper. Hypo is used when it is low, hyper is used when it is high. So, hypoxia is a condition when human body is deprived of adequate oxygen supply at the tissue level. So, recently this term was in news because of COVID-19 as a lot of COVID-19 patients are facing the condition of hypoxia due to virus. That means they are facing the problem of shortage of oxygen and that is why oxygen cylinders are in demand. Recently, DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization, has developed SpO2 supplemental oxygen delivery system. So this protects the person from sinking into or from going into the state of hypoxia. Now what is SpO2? It is blood oxygen saturation or oxygen saturation. In simplest term, it is a measure of amount of oxygen carrying hemoglobin in the blood relative to amount of hemoglobin not carrying oxygen. See, in simplest term, hemoglobin carry oxygen. Now in blood, some hemoglobin carries oxygen, some do not. So this SpO2 is known as oxygen saturation and it is a measure of amount of oxygen carrying hemoglobin in the blood as compared to amount of hemoglobin not carrying the oxygen. So if this level is low, obviously there is a problem of oxygen supply in the body and because of COVID-19, a lot of patients are facing this problem. Now, in the context of COVID, recently, India approved Sputnik vaccine. It is a vaccine by Russia. Recently, Russia was also in news because of Dr. Vera Gadroitz. So, she is regarded as the first female military surgeon, and she was in news recently as Google celebrated her 151st birth anniversary. She was a Russian surgeon. Now, Russia was also in news as the agreement between Roscosmos is the space agency of Russia. So, agreement between Roscosmos and other space agencies for ISS, that is International Space Station, is going to end in 2024. ISS is International Space Station. So now Russia is going to launch its own space station by 2025. For ISS, 5 space agencies are the key collaborator. USA, that is NASA of USA, Roscosmos of Russia, CSA of Canada, ESA of European Union, and JAXA of Japan. Now, in the context of oxygen, recently one more term was in news. It is PSA. What is PSA? It is pressure swing adsorption. So, recently Health Ministry approved 162 PSA oxygen plants for the installation in the public health facilities in all the states. So, this will help in tackling the problem of scarcity of oxygen in the hospitals. Now, in the context of this COVID scenario, recently central government has allowed states to use up to 50% of SDRF. What is SDRF? It is State Disaster Response Fund. So, up to 50% of SDRF for the financial year of 2021 to 22 can be used to fight the COVID-19. SDRF is State Disaster Response Fund. So, up to 50% can be used to tackle the corona situation. SDRF has been constituted as per the provisions of Disaster Management Act of 2005. Next question is, India signed a memorandum of understanding with which country on cities combating plastic entering the marine environment? So, recently MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, has signed agreement with Germany for cooperation in the context of cities combating plastic entry is the marine environment. So, this is in lines with our Swachh Bharat initiative. See, we have Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Swachh Bharat Mission or Clean India campaign. This campaign was initiated by the government in 2014 and it has 2 key major objectives. One is to eliminate open defecation and second is solid waste management. This campaign was launched in 2014 and this campaign was launched on 2nd of October. So it has 2 components. One is urban component. This is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Rural component is implemented by Jal Shakti Ministry. Actually, previously it used to be implemented by Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. But now this ministry is merged with this Jal Shakti Ministry. Next question is, which authority recently ruled that flavored milk is a beverage containing milk and it will attract GST at a rate of 12%. So this has been done by Gujarat AAR, that is Gujarat Authority for Advanced Ruling. What is this entire controversy? So, this authority has ruled that flavored milk is a beverage containing milk and therefore it will attract 12% of GST. GST is Goods and Service Tax. So, there was controversy about the taxability under GST for this specific product and that is why Gujarat Authority for Advanced Ruling has cleared it. Now, GST is Goods and Service Tax. It is indirect tax. Please note that certain items are outside the purview of GST. These items are alcohol. That is why you might have seen the controversy that why even during the pandemic situation, alcohol shops were opened or liquor shops were opened because these are the major source of revenue for state governments. They are not part of GST as of now. Apart from that, petroleum products are not under the purview of GST and electricity is also exempted. As of now, for GST, we have GST Council and this council is headed by Finance Minister. Now, answer in comment box. In GST Council, all the union territories are represented or not? Next question is, IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency, has confirmed that which country started enriching uranium up to 60%. So, this country is Iran. Actually, in the context of nuclear, there was an agreement, JCPOA. That is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. It is known as Iran Nuclear Deal. Now, when Mr. Donald Trump was the president of USA, he decided to quit this agreement and he decided to impose sanctions on Iran. This deal was signed to prevent Iran from making nuclear weapons. Now, when sanctions were reimposed on Iran, it said that we are going to make nuclear weapons. Again, it is a pressure tactics so that countries remove sanctions from Iran. And that is why Iran started this enrichment of uranium. And this was done at its Natanz nuclear facility. So in examination, they may ask you that Natanz nuclear facility is related to which country? So it is related to Iran. Recently, IAEA has confirmed that Iran is enriching uranium up to 60%. This high level of enrichment is used for nuclear weapons. Now, please note that the headquarters of IAEA is in Vienna in Austria. In fact, the headquarters of OPEC is also in Vienna in Austria. Apart from that, please answer in comment box whether IAEA is an organization of United Nations or not. Next question is, with reference to defense, what is INAS 323, which was recently commissioned? So it is Indian Navy's first unit of indigenously built advanced light helicopter Mk3, and it is Indian Naval Air Squadron 323, that is INAS 323, and it was recently commissioned at INS Hansa in Goa, and it has been manufactured, that means the engine has been manufactured by HAL. So the squadron will operate these ALH Mk3 helicopters, and the engine for these are manufactured by HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Now, recently Indian Navy was also in news because of INS Suvarna. So why INS Suvarna was in news? Because it seized over 300 kg of narcotic substances, and the approximate cost of this seizure in the international market is estimated as 3,000 crore. Now coming back to HAL, it is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. The headquarters is in Bengaluru and it is under Defense Ministry. Actually, it is a public sector enterprise and it is under Defense Ministry. Next question is, Siva Subramanian Raman has took over as the chairperson and MD of which organization? So he is the new chairperson of SIDBI. What is SIDBI? It is Small Industries Development Bank of India. Apart from him, recently few other appointments were in news. So recently, Siddharth Singh Longjam has been appointed as the new DG, that is Director General of NADA, that is National Anti-Doping Agency. In addition to him, recently Poonam Gupta became the first woman Director General of NCAER. What is NCAER? It is National Council of Applied Economic Research. In addition to her, recently one more woman was in news and she is Priyanka Mohite. So why she was in news? Because she became the first Indian woman to scale Mount Annapurna. Next question is, which is the second largest part of body in human beings? So it is liver. Recently World Liver Day was celebrated on 19th of April. Theme was keep your liver healthy and disease free. So apart from this, on 21st of April, Civil Services Day was celebrated. Civil servants are considered as the steel frame of India. Now answer in comment box which freedom fighter called civil servants as the steel frame of India. Apart from that, 21st of April is also celebrated as World Creativity and Innovation Day. In addition to that, 22nd of April was celebrated as World Earth Day. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news events. So first is Blue Nature Alliance. Recently this alliance was in news. It is a global partnership and its core partners are Conservation International, the Global Environment Facility, Pew Charitable Trust, Minderoo Foundation, Rob and Melani, Walton Foundation. So these entities are its core partner, and the target areas of this alliance are these areas. So what is this Blue Nature Alliance? First thing first, it is a global marine initiative, and the objective of this alliance is to protect 5% of the world ocean in next 5 years. So these are the core partners, these are the target areas. Objective is to protect the world ocean. Next is Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative. So recently Australia and India launched this Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative. Objective is to support free, open and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Next is United Nations Economic and Social Council. So 3 organizations under this council were in news. These 3 organizations are Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice. Second is Executive Board of United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and Empowerment of Women. Third is Executive Board of World Food Programme. So recently, these three bodies of United Nations Economic and Social Council were in news because India has been elected in all these three bodies by acclamation. It means India has not been elected through a ballot. Instead of that, it has been elected as honor. So India will start its term from 1st of January in 2022. Next is Miguel Diaz-Canel. So recently these two personalities, first is Miguel Diaz-Canel and second is Raul Castro, were in news. Both are associated to Cuba. Capital of Cuba is Havana. Cuba is a communist country and the head of Communist Party was Raul Castro. Recently he resigned. Now the president of Cuba has took the additional charge as the chief of this Communist Party. That is the first secretary of Communist Party. Next is Sudarshan Sen panel. So recently this panel has been constituted by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. It is a 6-member panel and it has been constituted to carry out the review of working of ARC. That is ARC, it is Asset Reconstruction Companies. This panel will be headed by Executive Director of RBI, that is Mr. Sudarshan Sen. RBI was also in news because of M. Narasimhan. So he was the former governor of RBI. Recently he was in news because he passed away. He is known as father of Indian banking reforms. He was the governor of RBI. He was the 13th governor of RBI. Next is World Press Freedom Index. So recently this index was released by RSF, that is Reporters Without Borders. Actually this RSF is a short form in some other language, but the full name of organization in English is Reporters Without Borders. It is a not-for-profit organization. So as per this World Press Freedom Index, India is on 142nd position. Eritrea is on 180th position. That is, it is on the bottom position. The index has been topped by Norway. Norway is followed by Finland and Denmark. Next is 4500 crore advance. So recently, government approved the financial resources for vaccine production and this has been allocated to two companies. One is Serum Institute of India and second is Bharat Biotech. So 3000 crores has been allocated to Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech has been allocated 1567 crore rupees. This money is to be given as advance against supplies till July, and for this money no bank guarantee has been showed. Please note that this money has been allocated from the funds that was specified for the vaccination budget. Next is currency watch list. So recently USA put India into the list of currency manipulators. Now in this context, few issues are important. First is, that means the first argument of USA is that high dollar purchase, specifically by Reserve Bank of India. Second trigger for this inclusion is trade surplus with USA. What is trade surplus? When we export more and import less. This is trade surplus. What is trade deficit? When we import more than export. So in case of USA, we have trade surplus. That means we export more to USA as compared to our imports. And this is approximately of $20 billion. And last news is Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So recently it became the first political party to declare the name of electoral bond donors. That means to publicly announce or to publicly disclose the name of donors who have donated to the political party through electoral bond method. So these were the most important news events. Please note that the test is provided in a separate video and please attempt the test without pausing the timer. Please try to write down your score so that you can see how others are performing and what different things they are doing. So that was all for the day. Thank you.